Neill's love of food began whilst watching his mom cook. Growing up in Zimbabwe, then Northern Province, he went on to work in Gordon Ramsay's kitchen before going solo. Our challenge to Neill was to cook a first-class meal on a budget. He accepted, but if Nico was to be his sous chef and wear his trademark pencil behind the ear, he'd need to earn it.
What we've got here is a really sustainable, white, firm, flesh fish. A little bit of spice in there, some chili flakes, some five spice. Five spice, you've got a bit of anise in there, so it's going to work well with the dish we're eating today.
Bake at 190 for 12 minutes, and with the hake, try gnocchi potato dumplings.
We're going to take our baked potato, scoop the flesh out.
You can use any baked potato.
Any baked potato, leftover mash. You can even use leftover mash for this. It's absolutely fine. As long as it's quite nice and dry. You don't want it too wet because then you're going to start adding more flour, and less flour the better.
The mix should be firm enough to roll into a long cube. If it doesn't come together, you can add a bit more flour. And once you've rolled it out, Neill has a good tip.
So just dust the knife so the gnocchi doesn't stick to the knife, so we get nice clean cuts of gnocchi.
Once sliced, cook in boiling salted water. You'll know they're ready when they float to the top. On an oiled tray, these can be chilled and kept in the fridge for 3 days, then sautéed in a non-stick pan until golden and served with butternut puree, baby cress, grated pecorino and olive oil.
Shall I do the honors? Thank you, sir.
It looks the part, but as you've just seen, it's mostly made with the basics. As for the taste,
light, fluffy pillows of potato, smoothness of the puree, sharpness of the pecorino coming through as well. Just finishing touch a little bit of olive oil just gives it a bit of mouthfeel.
I must say that was absolutely the most ridiculous, fluffy little pillow of lightness I've ever tasted in my life. Thank you, sir.
Absolute pleasure.
Good to go. Good to go. Now,
bring us the lamb.
What will you do with the Greek lamb?
We're not going to do any Greek, we're going to go Moroccan. We're going to have our chili powder and our dried cumin, which are sort of your base flavors for Moroccan flavor. But then the kicker is a little bit of ground cinnamon, so you get that sort of background sweetness.
Coated with olive oil and with spices and salt added, these shoulder cuts are also easier on the pocket if you're entertaining. Heat some olive oil in a large pot and start to sear the meat. When brown, add the hot chicken stock, then tinned tomatoes. Cover and simmer for about 2 hours, stirring occasionally.
Next step in this little Moroccan extravaganza is aubergine.
Aubergine.
Aubergines are very sort of versatile. They're nice and meaty, but the problem is that they do contain a lot of water. So anything you do with them, you need to always make sure that you either saute them quickly like we're going to do, or you sort of cook them for a long time so you get rid of the moisture.
Remember that when you saute your diced aubergine, don't add too much olive oil, as they'll soak it up at first, but then release it into the final dish. Serve with polenta and the lamb and await your guests' reaction.
Get your laughing gear on that.
I think that we must... Yes, thank you.
How's the taste?
I think I'm going to spend some time with this one.
Yeah?
Okay.
I think we'll actually just get started on dessert. Baked coconut rice pudding. So basically, I use basmati rice. I don't use the standard short grain rice. I like the basmati rice. I like the flavor. Just a bit of icing sugar, a little bit of coconut milk, and then we're going to just boil it and then just pop it into the oven. So we get that sort of nice crust on it. That goes in there.
Next, some poached nachos, or clementines as they're also known.
So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of honey into the clementines. We're just going to use it as a garnish basically for the rice pudding because it's also going to be quite rich. Like we had the aubergine and the lamb, so you need that sort of the balance.
Smells good.
Keep poaching them until the honey has reduced into a glaze.
Well, since I've tasted everything else, I'm going to start with dessert.
Starting with the best part?
Yep.
Nice and creamy. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tartness.
I must say it's like an explosion.
Creamy?
In the mouth. Creamy explosion in the mouth.
Creamy, dreamy.
Fruity zestiness. The question is, have I earned my pencil?
Well, anyone who can really spend a day with me in the kitchen, in my own place, that probably deserves one. You're going to need a sharpener though.
I'll sharpen it at home. It's just because, like, this way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's up?
There you go.
I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my wife, but I'll find a story. Well, I guess I need some more time in the kitchen.
A bit more practice with the pencil.
5 more minutes and Neill would have made Nico eat that pencil.
These dishes offer a treat without going overboard. The kitchen is the ideal place to start saving because so much of our budget goes on food. This being National Savings Month, Standard Bank's Feroz Borat would like us to get into the habit.
Why is it important for Standard Bank to encourage saving here in South Africa?
Standard Bank's a very respected financial institution, and we see it as our role to inform people in order that they make responsible financial decisions. Actually, South Africa has a very bad savings culture. We spend more than we earn, and this has far-reaching socio-economic consequences. So it's in everybody's best interest, really, to drive a savings culture in South Africa.
Start in your kitchen. Find all the recipes on our website after this show.